Hello, best friend, and welcome to the after show. So, if you are new, my name is Sebastian. I spill pop culture tea videos every day, and my last video of the day is sort of just like a hangout type, like just it's if I just FaceTime you and talk shit, you know what I mean? Oh God, let me just get my water, bitch. So that's like my FaceTime. That's my after show. Again, I say this in my videos, but yeah, the after show is basically where we kind of just debrief, we talk, we hang out, we just have a good time together. So chill, grab a snack and a drink. I just had dinner. My mom taught me how to make rice just now, and this is why, okay, so my husband's out of town. This is why I don't know how to cook that well. But when I cook and I make things, I make like a lot, and my brain doesn't know when to stop eating. So like I made a cup of rice, and I ate the whole cup. That was a lot. Yeah, it's a lot of food. And I had like a frozen like veggie bag of like, it's called Asian medley. And then I added some more veggies on top. Like it was a lot of food, but you know what? I'm trying this thing where I just kind of I don't give myself so much hell for the food I eat, even though I just literally told you about it. But it is what it is. But you know what? My thing was, my question was, because I was wondering when I was cooking this, do you guys, like when you cook, right? Are you capable of leaving food in the stove? Do you know what I mean? Like if I know that if there's a little food left in one of the pots or whatever, like I feel like it's my mission in life to finish it. Do you know? Like does that make sense? Of course it makes sense. I'm not special. I hate when people are like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, yes, bitch, I've had water before. Do you know like some anyways. What are we gonna so my Christmas decorations are still up. I'm not gonna take them down until my husband gets home. So I'm gonna enjoy them while I can. I'm currently rewatching Twilight, and it's something I do when I'm feeling toxic about things. So this is kind of funny. This is what I really wanted to talk about today was I get hyper fixated on certain shows, like or certain things. Yeah, I'm so full. So like for example, you know what I put on the rice? I put yakisoba sauce. I think that's what it's called, with a little bit of soy sauce and sesame oil, and I put that on the rice and the veggies. It was really good actually. But anyways, so I get hyper fixated on things, always do, and I could get hyper fixated about food, about movies, about shows. And if it's a movie or a show, I slowly become that character, or I slowly really develop like hardcore crushes on the characters, right? And it's not like a romantic crush. It's just like I call it a crush, but it's more like a infatuation or whatever it's called. And now like when I first watched Twilight, I'm taking you guys all the way back. I mean, I don't really remember much. I know that I was in school, and God, I don't really remember the first one or the second, but I do remember going to the movies for the third one. And I just remember being so obsessed with Edward. And actually it's so funny because like I just started like dating and stuff. And it's so funny because I remember that I met this guy through a friend, and he was Norwegian. He was super tall. I mean, I'm 5'8". He must have been like 6'7". Like he was so like my head was like in his nipple or even a little bit lower. I mean, he was huge. And I met this guy, and he looked just like Edward, but he did have different hair. He had like long hair, not like super long, but like, kind of like long-ish. So that's like the only thing and he was super muscular. Like he was a very, very like, muscular type. And so, but his face was very Edward like. And I remember I met him in a study group, and it was a friend's friend. And I didn't think anything of it about him. And I just remember that he was visiting my friend. They might have been cousins. I really have no idea how he got there, but I do remember we were studying, And I remember that he was like just there, and we didn't really speak, and we kept seeing him around for some time, and I'm like the worst at gaydar. For example, if like a straight guy says hello to me, like back then, in my head, like when I was in school, like, learning about everything, like if a straight guy was just a little bit nice to me, I'd be like, oh, he's in love with me. Simple as that. He's in love with me. So now, of course, it's different, but back then it was like this. But, anyways, more of the story is I was hyper fixated on Edward. And this guy just reminded me so much of Edward. And also, like, his English wasn't the best. And there was this, like, mystery about him that I was just, like, obsessed with. I just noticed this. We gotta fix this. Do you guys love this? I got it at Ross, but it's so heavy. I'm like terrified it's gonna like fall on my head because it's like mirror. I'll show you like details later. But anyways, so he was just so mysterious, right? And whatchamacallit, and then we went like on another study group, and he was there too. And I'll never forget, he would wear these boots. Like he would wear these boots, and I would like make fun of him for that, like tease him, like. But again, in my head, super straight. Anyways, more of the stories. He ended up being bisexual. And my friend did tell me that, oh, he's been kind of like eyeing you for some time. And I was like, wait, what? That's the thing about me, best friends. Like, I have dated my fair share of guys before I met my husband, but I never know if someone is interested in me because I've always had very low self-esteem. So in my head, like, I'm not a good looking person. Like, because, I always get told like, oh, you look like Jack Black and stuff. And I'm sorry, but Jack Black is not cute in my opinion. Sorry. So, you look like Jack Black, or you look like Jack Osborne or whatever. So my low self-esteem has always been low. Like, and no offense to Jack Black or Jack Osborne, but I don't think that they're cute guys. That it is what it is. But anyways, no offense. But I was like, oh my God, really? And like, I would joke about him, being Edward. And like I said, he would wear these boots because he was kind of like rocker-ish, I do remember. And he would always wear like this jean jacket that had like holes. Oh, no. Yeah, a jean jacket and a leather jacket. He would always wear those two jackets. And then anyways, I will never forget our date. It was the most random date. We decided to walk around the city. And like I said, his English wasn't great, so it was kind of mysterious. It was kind of like, oh my Lord, like, and in my head, I barely understand what this guy is saying. Second of all, he reminds me so much of Edward. All I want to do is cut his hair, because then he would really look like Edward. So like, I was like, I had really bad intentions, if I'm being honest. And I remember even thinking like, I found myself in Edward. He was so mysterious. He was so dark. He loved rock music, super opposite of me. I mean, I'm, Selena Gomez and Britney Spears and, like pop music and he was like, I was listening to the freaking Hannah Montana, and he's over there listening to like Led Zeppelin or something. Well, anyways, we ended up in a graveyard. And this is like my second time that I go to a graveyard with a guy. I'll tell you the first one in another video. But anyways, we go to this graveyard at like freaking 10 p.m. Curfew's at 11. I have to go home in an hour. And I just remember like literally living my Twilight fantasy. Like, I just remember him being like kind of quiet, and then he would try to explain himself. And he had this accent, no, not an accent, like this mannerisms. When he would speak, he would always kind of look down, and then he would like grab his hair and put it back. I was falling in love with this man. Like, I was literally falling in love with him because I was like, I'm Belle. Like, I am he's Edward, I am Belle, and that's it. And like, we went on a couple of dates, but we were in this graveyard. And this was my second time at that graveyard. I'd gone a couple of years prior with my first boyfriend to make out in the graveyard, which was a mess. But anyways, this guy, I mean, huge guy. He was huge. I mean, such muscles, like absolutely huge. Like, I mean, he was a Viking, okay, girl? He was a true freaking Viking. I mean, his descendants must have been from Game of Thrones, bitch, I swear. But he was bisexual, like I mentioned, and there was something about him that was so nice. But I did notice we had a lot of like quiet moments, and we did end up sharing a kiss. We did go on another date, but it didn't really work out. It wasn't so much language barrier. It was like I was not interested in him, and I know he was not interested in me. And I think that it was just easy for him to ask me on a date because he knew I was openly gay. And but we were very opposite. Like, I would be like, oh my god, did you watch like the new episode of Wizards of Waverly or whatever? And he would be like, I just watched Metallica or something. We were very different. But it's so funny to me to think about things like, and it really does go through my hyperfixation that like even I went on dates or like changed my lifestyle because I get obsessed with things. And like, for example, my last obsession was Heartstopper, this show on Netflix. And it was, you know Heartstopper, right? It's a gay show, young, it's like high school kids, and they the main characters fall in love. One is a rugby player, the other one is like, the lonely nerd or whatever, I don't know. But it's an amazing coming of age show, and I got weirdly obsessed with it because I felt like I missed out a lot in my childhood, and it really brought me back to this like place of when I was young and my first crush and my first hidden relationship, all those things that you think about. And that was like that was my latest obsession. And now I'm slowly entering to Twilight, and like I wonder why I get these obsessions. And the same thing with food. If I eat something that I love, I will eat it every single day for a while. And obviously, like I don't think that the world is gonna end if I don't eat, certain things. But I definitely like I love a pattern. And I think that I might be I know I'm dyslexic. I know I have a bit of ADHD. You guys know that. But the other one, the OCD, it might be like an OCD thing because I get hyperfixated on things. And like, what happens when I get hyperfixated? Like, with a movie or a show, all I want to do is watch it. I want to rewatch it. I want to study the characters. This is why I think me and Trisha Paytas will get along, because she does the same thing with all the shows that she like falls in love with. And so like she watched Lost for the first time and then created a whole ass fucking podcast studio of it. And so like I see myself in that because like, if I had Trisha Paytas money, I would probably, like there's a Twilight museum in Washington. I would go to Washington just to go to the Twilight museum. I think she went through a Twilight phase too. But yeah, I don't know. It also might be that I kind of like to live in a world of like make believe and not be so in reality, I don't know, best friend. I'm very complex, but in the not interesting way. I think I'm very complex in the I think a shrink would love to see me kind of way. But I think that's fine. What other confessions do I have? Tonight I definitely let my overeating win. I feel like I definitely could have saved half of it and I would have been okay. But I think I had a little binge moment, to be very honest with you. I really did think I had like a little binge moment. And that's honestly it. Oh, I did want to address something. I want to address this thing where like, so depending on the video, I go 100 or I stay respectful and calm. But if it's a subject that I believe I could go and be, crazy to, I'm gonna do it. We were talking so much about, the unfortunate passing of Liam Payne, and while I'm talking about Liam, like I'm not gonna, make jokes or scream or sing or have, my moments, and if I do have my moments, I usually edit those out because it's disrespectful. And now that I'm like, I'm just waiting for updates, but I've uploaded 2 Liam Payne videos and it's not letting me put them. Like not letting me at all. That's another thing I'm going to do a video about, talking to you guys about it. It's not that I haven't done updates, it's just it does not let me post those type of videos anymore. I don't understand. TikTok either actually doesn't push those videos anymore. So I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna, I'm not saying much about it because I want to investigate a little bit more. But, when I do have subjects that I can have fun with, of course I'm going to be extra. But now I'm seeing comments that people are accusing me of being in substances or taking things or, you know, doing a little bit of that before my videos. I don't do anything of that nature. The closest thing I do is CBD. And that's when I had really bad anxiety. I barely even drink. And I don't even think that I have to like excuse myself or give any kind of explanations. But the reason I am telling you is because I feel a certain way about drugs. My brother was, you know, he had addictions. That's how we lost him. And I'm very, very strict when it comes to myself and substances. And I take a very high offense to it. I I'm just being me. I don't have scripts. I don't have anything planned except the subject of the video and the topic of the video. I don't have talking points. I just literally go off from my head. So if I feel like being extra or singing or stuff, that's because I'm enjoying what I do and not because I'm on drugs. So please, please, please respect that. And I've had to block some people because to be called a drug addict, I think it's so offensive when you guys know how I feel about that. So yeah, I just needed to tell you that. I love you all. I'm very grateful for you guys. I hope you enjoyed today's after show, and I'm gonna continue to watch Twilight. And I love you. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go and relax because I had a long day, very blessed long day. And I'm going to watch Twilight. And that's it. I love you. I love you for watching. Mwah.